just going by the Bible standards, dairy is the most satanic drink that everybody in society drinks commonly. And the reason for that is, when we look at these verses, when we look at Genesis chapter 9 verse 4, it says, "But you must not eat meat that has its lifeblood still in it." And when we look at Leviticus chapter 17 verse 14, it says, "The life of every creature is its blood. That is why I have said to the Israelites, you must not eat the blood of any creature, because the life of every creature is its blood." And dairy, it has up to 400 million pus cells per litre in the UK. They accept up to 400 million litres of pus in the UK. That's insane. So most of that is white blood cells, but also contains red blood and skin. They accept that. How is that not satanic? When it's in the Bible, it says do not drink blood. There's white blood cells as well as the red blood cells, the skin, in every litre of dairy you buy. And there's other things in it as well. The drugs, the hormones. It's not natural for us as it's meant for the baby cow. But going by the Bible standards, so that's satanic. No Christian or Jew should be drinking a drink with the blood of an animal in, because clearly it states it's satanic. And when we look at, and just to give a reference, because I'm about to speak about some of the bestiality that's actually in the dairy industry, bear with me, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, in Exodus chapter 22 verse 19, whoever has sexual intercourse whoever has sexual intercourse with an animal must be put to death. Now, I'm not saying they should be put to death, but I'm saying, by all the standards of the Bible, bestiality is wrong. Any form of intercourse with an animal is wrong. So intercourse isn't just sex. Sexual intercourse is, it could be, but it could be using your hands, it could be using your mouth, all that kind of thing, all these gross acts, And what did the dairy industry do? Okay, how did they get the cows pregnant? Well, for a start, they kill all of the bulls as soon as they're born. Apart from a minority of them. So, how did they get all the cows pregnant so quickly? Okay, so they take the semen of the bull.
On top of the pelvic muscles, which are just below the rectum itself. So once the probe is in place, we hook up the device which will supply the current to the probe. Here you can see some of the clear fluid coming out during the collection. So here you can see the semen, which we got about 5 mils. A nice chalky white collection, which we got a good collection from this bull. And then we can bring the probe out of the bull after the collection is done. Once they
inject it into all the cows by hand. The farmers stick their fist in the anus and inject the semen into the cow.
What are you feeling for in there when you... Oh, it's a bit jumpy. I think I would be if someone did that to me. What are you feeling for in there when you put your hand in?
Pick up the cervix through the...
Oh. Just wait for that to finish.
Cervix through the wall. You then put the gun in through the vagina, slide it through the cervix to the horns.
Bob's your uncle. There we go.
And then fire the gun.
Excellent. Job done. On to the next one then.
Yeah.
If they weren't doing it for money, that would be classed as bestiality. These people would be in jail. So what are Christians and Jews doing, paying the dairy industry for dairy when it's bestiality and full of satanic blood that's going into their stomachs every single day, every time they have breakfast, every time they drink cornflakes, every time they have a smoothie and they don't use plant-based milks?
Yeah. Yeah, and also in Genesis 1:28 it says that God gave us dominion over all the earth, but he also expects us to behave responsibly and to be accountable for the way we treat his creation. So even if the fact that there's blood in milk, if that doesn't put you off, you should also be thinking about how these animals are treated, because we know that a lot of the farms, to make money, they don't really take care of their animals properly. So, you know, if you believe in God, which of course we do, then we'd want to make sure that those animals are treated fairly, not being enslaved, forced against their will, and basically violently raped and then having their children taken away from them.
Yeah, because the children are murdered at birth if they're a male. If they're a female, they get separated from them. The mothers, they cry for months, weeks and months, you know. It's not just humans that cry for their children. God made animals want to look after and care for their children too, their calves. And farmers, they take them away. That's not looking after God's animals.
He's seen as a byproduct of the dairy industry. So he will be taken away from his mom to be confined in a small crate and then killed for veal. They will never see each other again. Mother cows have been known to cry for weeks over the loss of their babies. In about 4 years, after this cow's milk production starts to decline, she will be killed to become hamburger meat. This is the price a mother and her baby pay when we eat meat or dairy products.
And then also you've got Proverbs 12:10, which says that a righteous man regards the life of his animal. So again, all the time when we do the vegan news, I see farms being done for animal cruelty. We just did one last week, didn't we? Where a farmer was sentenced to quite a few months in prison because he wasn't feeding the animals, and there was a dead calf and a couple of dead pigs found on the property. And that's not the only case. There's a lot of common cases.
Yeah, and just to add to your point there as well, it's saying every man should care for the life of his animal. Okay, so if you have a dog and you care about them, you care about their life, you don't send them to the slaughterhouse for someone to buy their flesh and eat it. Same with pigs. If you care about your animal's life, which God says you should do, you don't kill them, you don't stab them in the throat, you don't eat their flesh, their corpse. You know, it goes against the demands. You know, when you really think about it and look and dive deep into these verses.
Yeah. And another interesting thing I was just looking at is a dairy farmer was actually saying that obviously the cows get mastitis a lot, which is inflammation of the teat. And when they get that, that's when more blood gets put into the milk. This farmer was saying that if a person dealing with the milk doesn't evaluate the situation of a cow teat appropriately, and the cow does have mastitis, that then the blood will turn pink, and then a lot of that milk can then be wasted. So instead of just putting it down the sink, what they actually do is then feed the pigs with this infected mastitis. So therefore anyone who's consuming pork is also getting that added infection through their consumption of the meat.
Yeah, it's gross. So, I mean, we're vegans as well. So when we believe in God, we believe in the thou shalt not kill. We think, like, we want the earth to be like the Garden of Eden. And Eden was vegan. You know, Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 29. I give you herbs and fruits. They will be yours for food, you know. They were vegans until they sinned, and then they started sinning with the meat. They started eating the animals.
Yeah, and people would argue that, yeah, okay, so God said that people can now eat meat after the flood, but we don't have a flood anymore. We're not living in a boat on the sea anymore.
Yeah, we have all the vegetation.
People always say that, you know, some passages in the Bible aren't relevant now because we've moved on. But we've also moved on from that stage. We're back on dry land. So shouldn't we go back to the days of the garden of vegan? Yeah. It makes perfect sense to me.
Well, regardless, because I know a lot of people find there's a lot of controversy around it, as in the Christian community, which I think, but I think that's insane, because you shouldn't be, there's no excuse for killing, really, like, when we don't have to. But this is non-debatable. There's blood in the cow's milk. That's classed as satanic by every verse of the Bible. where it's saying no sexual relations with the animals, that's non-debatable again. The farmers or the vet, whoever you want to, the way they get them pregnant is through intercourse. They're sticking the fist in the cow, injecting the semen, against their will, no consent. It goes against the Bible. So that's non-debatable. That's completely satanic. Every Christian and Jew should be giving up the dairy from the goats and the cows, whether or not whatever they think about the meat, But even though we do promote the vegan lifestyle, I'm just saying that is non-debatable by any terms or means. We promote the vegan lifestyle through Christianity. It's what, God is all compassionate, all loving. So, where would you see a slaughterhouse? In hell or in heaven? A demon, the devil, is going to want to pour blood everywhere and see an animal suffer and die.
And take away its babies.
Most Christians have never even seen a slaughterhouse. They don't want to look at it. They want to keep them blinders up. And why do you think that is? There's many scriptures outside of the Bible as well that claim Jesus was vegan. So if you're interested in that, I've got a video called Christianity and Veganism. But if you want to look into it further yourself, there's a book called The Gospel of the Holy 12. I think the Gospel of the Nazarenes. Yeah, but go look at them. Go look at my video. I explain more about that in that video. Thanks for watching. Give up the dairy. And look more into it for yourself. One more thing to mention. Where I got the fact from about the somatic cells being mostly white blood cells, it wasn't from some vegan website. It was, it's none of that. It's from milkfacts.info, which is a dairy site. They admit it themselves. It's just they call it somatic cell count instead of pus, because it sounds better, and most people don't know what somatic cells are. Because they wouldn't want they wouldn't be selling ice cream to children, slap bang. Pus, this has pus in it, everyone. Come and get your pus. Pour your pus over your cereal. It's good, it's full of pus. Extra pus. It's also when they really promote it. It's more like calcium. When you can get it from plants.
Yeah, also, if you're interested in the practices of the dairy industry, check out the 5-minute video, Dairy is Scary. It's a massive eye-opener. And the point is really, what's the harm in going and trying an almond milk or a rice milk or a coconut milk? They're really tasty, they're better for you nutritionally, they're not much more expensive. So why not just have a week or 2 weeks on trying it? Your taste buds change really quickly. So I don't see the point in making other animals suffer when we've got the options to do it in this day and age.
Yeah, there's 8 different plant milks to try. There's probably even more if you experiment with different plants. But the ones you can buy from the shops, there's 8 different varieties. Let's see if I can name them there quick. Oat milk, rice milk, hemp milk, soy milk, hazelnut milk, almond milk. What are the other 2? I don't know. I always get stuck on them. But you get the idea.
Yeah, so that's my message to everyone watching this, is go and try some new things. There's no need to be harming animals in the process, and especially if you study the Bible and you believe in God. I really don't think God in this day and age, in this situation, would think that this is of any benefit, harming the animals for the milk, when we have everything provided, like in the garden of vegan.
Yeah, because it's destroying the rainforest as well. Because most of the Amazon, 91% of the Amazon has been destroyed for animal agriculture. And that's why we promote veganism as well. Because it's destroying the planet. And dairy is a big part of that as well. But really, it's all meat. That's the problem. Because of all the crops used to feed the chickens, the cattle, the pigs, Because cattle eat 15 times more than us. So watch Cowspiracy if you want to find out about that. But yeah, go spread peace and compassion, and God bless. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.